Welcome to Caffeine and Creative, where Pat and Mo, Greer Films, brew up raw conversations about life behind the camera, storytelling and navigating the ups and downs of running a creative business. With a blend of caffeine, fueled banter, behind the scenes, insights and plenty of laughs, we're here to connect, inspire and keep it real. Whether you're a business owner, creative soul or just here for the stories, grab your coffee and join us for unfiltered fun.
Cheers. Welcome back to Caffeine Creative. It's been a crazy month for us. A little bit late to do our recording, a couple of days late, but that's all right. You know, we live to adapt.
And we will make sure that we still stick to the schedule and get it out to everyone's ears and video on time. So even though we're recording a few days late, you know, it's just about still turning up. Yeah. Just still doing it, which is great. Like it's been lovely that the last few times, because obviously we're at the conference, which we'll touch on in a second, and we got to review that we did these podcasts before or director chats before.
Yeah.
And we fell off the wagon. Is that the terminology? Falling off the wagon? Or getting on, you know what I mean?
That'll do.
It stopped because we missed one and then we just wouldn't book it back in. And it's like, even though we couldn't do this last week because it was just a week, I'm really happy that we've still stuck to today. And clearly I thought about what I was going to wear in the podcast because I'm popping over here in this yellow.
Well, yeah, mixing it up this morning. I walked in the room and I was like, oh, those seats are there. Okay. Oh, well, let's run with that. And I'll sit in the black chair. It's a little bit different and I'm sort of falling in a little bit, but
it looks good.
It's okay. At least I'm not wearing, well, my shirt's black, so just cover that up.
Oh, yeah. You're falling in colours. But, yeah, I think it's just, but I always know that I'm going to be in my yellow chair, so it's a bit of a cheat.
Yes.
But, you know, maybe next time I can be in the black chair.
And on different sides.
On different sides, which does actually feel a bit weird. But that's okay.
So you can tell everyone now that what your amazing achievement was almost 2 weeks ago now.
Is it 3 weeks? Did I get back 3 weeks? Anyway.
It's 2 weeks, I think.
Well, however long it was. As you can hear, we've lost track of time because it's been epically hectic for us. But yes, I was in Cairns with just for those who can see the video, I was in Cairns for hockey and I was an assistant coach for the 55 plus women's team. And we were there for the Trans-Tasman, so Australia versus the Kiwis. And I came away with a medal. We won. So that was pretty amazing. It's the second Trans-Tasman that I've done. And the first time I did it, I didn't come home with a medal. So it does feel pretty amazing. And then I was really honoured that the head coach, so I went as an assistant, and Pat obviously knows this, but explaining it in a way that you guys might not know this, so the head coach, the way that they said it is the off-field team has a head coach, a manager and assistant coach. So I was really proud, I guess, of myself to be selected as an assistant coach. But with the way that I suppose I connect with people, the head coach really wanted to do a collaboration style and she gave me rein. So I got to do things before we even got into camp. So that was really cool. Even though I was short on time and sometimes I was a bit stressed out about balancing all the work, I just got it done, or I was really honest with the team and said, I don't check my emails all the time. I'll talk to you in about 3 weeks. But they were really good. And I got to lead the team in the last game. So Pam turned to the team and said that I was going to be running the team, which means essentially I was the head coach for that game and I got to stand outside the dugout, which is my favourite spot to stand.
Yeah, right.
So when you go to those sort of tournaments, like at home, we're not supposed to stand outside our dugout.
Yeah.
But when you're going to these other places, as long as the dugout has been designed in a way that you can actually be on the pitch, head coaches actually stand out on the pitch, essentially, as long as you're within your space.
Because there's more room to where the actual
there's kind of like
line is.
Yeah, there's slightly, not a massive amount. Actually, compared to our turfs, it's pretty big.
It would have to be, because I think now that I think about it, when I was in Central Coast, I think at least one of those fields, it seemed like there was a bit of space.
Around the outside. And so they're the turfs that you're allowed to stand outside the dugout.
There you go.
So, yeah, to come home with a medal was amazing. And to do it exactly 10 years from when I did it last as a manager, just had that synergy, that I don't know if that's the right word, but you know, it's
sweet spot.
It was really cool to do it. And so I brought home a medal.
Yay. And it's a cool medal.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. Like, it's not gold, but they didn't really do gold because the winners are the only ones that get medals.
Yep. So it's just unique in its own way. It's
just unique in its own way. So they did, these black and whites.
It's very Kiwi inspiring looking medal. Now that I think about it, black and white.
Well, yeah, funny that. But
we hosted it.
So last year when they were over there for the World Cup, so the hosting country, I think, is the one that gets to design the medals. And they did these wooden medals. So same thing, only the winners won, I think. Or maybe there was first and second. But anyway, there were pieces of wood and they were then done in the carvings.
Oh, yeah.
So that was then their unique style. But no, I'm very happy with the look of this and very grateful. I think they've tried to blend the black and white with the Kiwis, and the teal is us.
Yes.
So because we're not green and gold anymore like it used to be. It's gold and teal. So, yeah, it's just...
Very cool.
That's what I did.
Well, I kept the children alive for a week on my own.
And you did an amazing, and you had support, which was awesome. You knew that you had people there if you needed it when you needed it.
No, it was easy. I only had that Friday, I think, where I had to juggle Alice for a booking.
Oh, with the job.
So, but otherwise it was pretty easy on. And I think they all were not opposed to going to hockey training, I think, because it was like freezing. So I was like, that's cool. Like, let's just not go.
It was also, didn't they do athletics? Like, it was a big day that day. Yeah. So
yeah, true. Yep.
That was the other reason.
Yeah, for school. Yep. Yeah. So you mentioned the conference. So we got to do something a little bit different and unique. Well, especially from my perspective, standing in front of a group of, it was all women, really. I was the only male apart from the other photographer there for the Women in Business Collective, which is a new business networking group for women. And so that was really cool. And it was in Melbourne. So we drove down on the Thursday and managed to score a hotel room late minute. On the way there, more or less, looked it up and going, oh, maybe we should try and get some sleep. And because based on the time, we got away earlier than we thought we would, which was a blessing in the end. And here I am working on the things I'm going to say on the drive down as well, because we had, thanks to the crew, Jeremy and Kendall worked on putting together, what did we call it? It had a title.
It's not really a show reel.
I guess it was
the evolution.
Evolution. Thank you. Yes, that's the word. Sorry. So it was an evolution of Greer Films, of their productions, and so I sort of went through our spreadsheet of all our listed productions over the years, and sort of just picked ones out, and we sort of put that together and had it as a timeline and a video count, and it was kind of cool. So. But I think if I was to do that same presentation again, I would tweak it and I would tweak that video. But so it was pretty interesting, and obviously you and your element just being able to just fly by the seat of your pants and just say things.
Well, I did have a plan. I had my cue cards to each slide that I had designed, so I got to talk about marketing and like branding and how we should be turning up on social media. As Pat said, like, it's a new collective. Like, we haven't been at that event before, so it's really challenging as a presenter to then still create something that you want to have value for your audience. There is nothing worse than being in the audience and going, oh my God, I either know everything and I'm bored, or this is completely over my head and it's too overwhelming. So it's trying to get that sweet spot where people will feel stretched to understand but apply something that you learn. But I had no idea. So the audience, there was no, the Em and Chris, like, they did an amazing job, but they also didn't know, you don't know when people are buying tickets, where they are in their business or what kind of background they have. So you just got to try and make it
As versatile.
As versatile and in that sweet spot as possible. So one of the opening slides that I had was like brand basics. And I went around the room and I felt like I could have just done a presentation on that.
Yep.
On the brand basics, but I didn't have that. So I sort of tried to touch on it without overwhelming people, but there are obviously people in the room who are all over the brand basics. So There was really a diverse group, which was exciting but challenging. And then I obviously wasn't feeling the greatest, a little bit stuffy still, and I was trying to keep up with my cue cards, and I looked down and I just went, I have no idea what slide number I'm now on and where this applies. So I just was really honest, wasn't I? I was really vulnerable to the group. I told them that I wasn't feeling well and I was just going to go by the seat of my pants. And by doing that, the presentation was obviously a lot smaller because you sort of forget a few key things that you're maybe going to elaborate on. But no, I felt really centered. And the last time I held a microphone and tried to do a presentation, I know that I really struggled. But down at Melbourne, I didn't feel the shake in my voice. I didn't feel like I felt a little bit of a high blood pressure moment at points, but it was nothing like I used to experience. So that was a huge win for me. And that's what I want to do, which is crazy to think that I want to talk on a stage with a microphone in my hand and talking to people. So this is a good test.
Yes. Yeah, no, it was cool. And I'm glad they had the microphone because as much as it, you probably could have projected into the room, most people could have, or maybe not. So it's kind of like, it's just an easy
bar.
Yeah, that's right. So,
I think there was only one person who didn't end up using it. Like looking back on
the lady with the dogs. She didn't.
Yeah, she didn't, which is fair. Like that would have been a struggle at points. But
no, she did use it. She just didn't use it very well. The key to holding a microphone and speaking in a microphone is to make sure, it's still within that range of that, more or less. If you're holding it further down than that, then it's irrelevant. It's not going to pick you up.
And I'm so fortunate that I have you in my support because we've talked about microphones. So when I was holding it, I was trying to be very aware of how I was holding it, how far away I was holding it, and then not to over project. Because you're already holding something.
I did that.
You did a couple of times, but that's allowed. You're nervous. And we had really good feedback regarding how we spoke, and you had a lot of good positive feedback. So I'd like to see you do more of this as well.
Yeah, tweak it into a bit more, just being able to, I guess it's hard. Like I tried to talk two things from a marketing perspective, but then I also couldn't help talk sort of shop on some of it as well to be like, this is how we achieved it, or, we did this way. But then I'm thinking in the back of my head, I'm like, are they going to care about that? Like they're not video creators, but it's kind of like, oh, well, like I said, it's a behind the scenes sort of glimpse into things. And I'm going to tell you about wins and challenges and where things gone wrong, funny little fun notes about things. And also maybe, decisions that were made to achieve things.
But I also think that yes, my watch is going off. So many coach chats that I'm in. Sorry. So, but by you talking a little bit of shop, it maybe gives people a perspective that they hadn't thought of. So for me, you bring even more value to a video or to what we do, like to the importance of content creation. It's not just about the product of their marketing. It's like, well, no, if you don't think about your lighting, then this is a challenge that you're going to have. Like we're sitting in our space and you have thought about the lighting, the colours and everything that goes so that it's a complement and it all works. But if we just walked in and turned the lights on, sat down and recorded, which is totally fine for those people who do that, that's not on brand for us. So it's the importance of both. And I think people got that. So I don't think you should be too hard on yourself about it.
Yeah, I suppose it sort of ties in with having a bit of pride in the way that you then present your business. So
100%.
Yeah, and that's why you hire professionals.
When you can afford it, absolutely.
Absolutely. Ding, 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 ding.
Damn it.
I'll allow it.
It's only been one. It's been really good.
But another fun, interesting thing that I saw on the weekend, I think, actually, and it must have been a big conference sort of launch thing that was in America, like in Google, because it's also just come out, which is their new VO3 AI video generator. Being someone who doesn't use any of that stuff, but it interests me to, and part of me starts to think, even if it's just for fun, just to get good at it and apply it somehow. Toys. Yeah, it'd be interesting to. I've seen it a lot lately by doing the toy photography that I'm doing. That in some photographers that I've been following have been doing it. One in particular, where I'm not sure what program they're using, but they are basically using AI to. They'll take their image and then they use AI to generate a scene, and the characters are moving. Wow. And it's gotten even better. Like I remember seeing it 6 months ago from someone, and then I saw one like literally yesterday, and I was like, whoa, like it looks like, imagine the movie Toy Soldiers. Like it's like that. Like it's amazing. And it's just, I don't know how they, like what's involved to generate it, or it's literally just they put the image in and say, make them move, do this. Like there was this one where it was over the top down shot, and it was like G.I. Joe's like chilling out, and they had like beers and things like that. It's like their day off or something. And like here they are like cheersing each other and stuff and moving around pretty fluently. So
it doesn't look like then stop motion? Like it doesn't have that?
No.
Wow.
No, not. Stop motion is completely different to what that is. This is like full on, toy soldiers, like live action, like the figures are full on alive. Looks crazy. Cool. But yeah, the VO3 is pretty cool, and it's exciting to see where that will go.
So maybe I don't know what your day looks like on Friday, but I'm like, should you put aside time to do that? Because then
to look into that,
especially with this, and then get the boys to help you with a couple.
Oh yeah,
get like John to tell you
see what they want them to do. Yeah,
and then it's
a good idea.
It's a bit of fun, and then they can even because like I don't know, was it John or Luke? One of them's like they want to be a YouTuber, which of course all the children want to now these days.
Gamer or YouTuber.
Gamer, actually.
And Lucas wants to be a boxer or something. I think is the last thing he was going on about. So where does that come from?
I'm looking at this learning gaming. Oh no, wait, he wants to be a gamer.
Yeah.
Boxer and gamer is what's on Lucas's. So I've got their first day of school photos where I got them to fill out the card. That's what I was like, I've got that on my phone. But yeah, that would be really fun because then that's something that you can do with them, and you're stretching your skills, but I think they would like that, especially based off what you told me about the weekend. Yeah.
But I think it works best if you are doing like scenery based shots.
Oh, of course, yeah.
But I have seen other ones where it's just a pose, and then they've got the character just like walking to the camera. And it's pretty cool. But the VO3 was pretty cool. Like they had an on stage sort of example, and if you just go online and look it up, or you may have seen what I'm talking about, but they show. It's like an old guy in a topless like Mustang or something out in the desert driving, and like they decide to add a chicken in the back, like a big giant chicken, and then they make it fly, and then it's like, oh, but if it then decides it goes where you don't want it, or you want to trim it back, you just treat it just like a normal editing tool, and you just drag the clip back, and you just start here, and you tell its next prompt, and then it'll just generate that, and it's all just like completely fluent and. Looks like it has that thing around. It looks like it still has that AI sort of look, but it's pretty realistic. Like it's amazingly realistic.
But I'm kind of glad that it does look a bit AI. Like there is some...
Because then it's its own sort of medium, isn't it? It's not going to take over other things.
Correct. And I think it's where people then get nervous about content is where, is this real? Is it not real? Like you think about how many times... Like in the last 2 years, like AI is massive now, but it's been around in some way with the way that you can edit photos or Photoshop. Remember, we used to say, no, that's been Photoshopped. Yeah, it wasn't
now
AI.
It's been now
AI'd.
Yeah.
And I talk about that because, we were so nervous about Photoshop and what it could do, its capability with photos. And then people would post stuff on social media, and it was a whole... Is that real, or is that being photoshopped? And now we're saying the same thing about AI content, where is that real or no? And like some stuff you watch and then it's like, oh no, there was like a sixth finger or something.
Look closer. Yeah.
Something will give it away that it was AI.
Yeah.
But people still will actually skip over that. I think their brains will sort of just edit that out for themselves. But I'm excited to see what could happen next.
Well, there is the labeling. I don't know if it's like a forced sort of thing or it will figure it out, but there is labeling in Instagram when you post, and if you got to sort of tag if it was made with AI and stuff.
You're supposed to because people want to know, like, because my projection then, based on that, is that we could ultimately record this in transcript. Did you hear the door just then?
Yes.
Okay. It just sounded a lot louder than usual. Where was I?
Getting distracted by doors closing.
Very much so. Yeah. So there's such an emphasis on AI. So we could have recorded this, get the transcript, then put it into some AI thing.
Yeah.
And then it could have created the video instead of us actually recording it.
Yeah.
But what will happen is that in time that you could work with me through AI in that way, and it's obviously not completely real, and then what will happen is that then the value of people actually doing things will come through. But you just got to wait for that.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Oh, it's still driven by people. Like it's still not just doing its own thing.
No, but I can still see where marketing and content will go, where it's like, well, you can write a webinar. I did one on, what night was it that I sat on the couch next to you? Like last minute. It was a Friday night. And I signed up to a free webinar to do whatever it was. Yeah. And it's like, oh, and do this and say yes. And I'm looking and I'm watching. I'm like, I'm just not going to fucking engage for a second. And it's like, oh, here's Cheryl and here's Cindy. And it's like, they're not the people commenting. So it was clearly a recording of a webinar, of a live webinar. And then they've just posted that with someone still working in the chat, but it's not the person. It would have been a Tatum.
Yeah.
Like, and I say Tatum because obviously she's one of our crew members. So then that's how you got it for free because you didn't actually get to work with me. So if you do want to work with me or that person, that's where then the price tag comes through.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just interesting and people are more okay with that now than they ever have been, where they're happy to do a free webinar and do it themselves and understand that, well, no, Pat Greer might not be sitting on this.
Yeah.
Even though it's his. People are accepting of that now.
Yeah.
So it's just interesting.
Yeah.
And I think with that, it will come then a time where it's like, this isn't generated by AI or this, like, as you said, you've got to tag it if it is. So I can see that becoming normal.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
But the VR glasses are pretty cool.
Oh, yeah, that video. Except I don't know because, like, I wear glasses, obviously. And, like, I was trying to then imagine what it would be like. And it was like there was a pause thing in the middle. Like, I get the concept, but I also go, how annoying is it going to be?
Yeah, yeah. I think it'd be interesting. It'd be like a challenge to – because I would imagine that they're not really designed to be worn, like, all day, every day.
I don't know.
But maybe. Like, it'd be interesting to understand the battery life on those things.
But then how are they then different to the Ray-Ban ones?
I think it's the technology for it to do so much from your phone, I think, is the main thing. Like it's paired
Android.
Yeah, it's like it's using more power from the phone in the glasses.
Yeah, like the map thing was crazy.
Yeah, so almost everything that, like, because I don't know what the Ray-Ban ones do in terms of connectivity. Like
I'm going to Google.
Had a bit of a demo play with them at OBSM, but from the video that they show, it's like, they're asking Google or asking Gemini, I think it is the new Google AI assist. Yes. And it's answering everything and telling you where to go and bringing up a 3D map in your vision. Like, it's pretty crazy. It's like video game style where it's just like all exactly what you see is what this is recording or broadcasting even.
Well, so I remember that the Ray-Ban Sunnies, they're meant to be able to take photos,
Yes.
but and I just hit
record.
that.
They do record as well.
But is that as far as it does?
Maybe. Yeah.
Versus what were the new ones?
Oh, I couldn't tell you. I'm not sure.
Google Gemini. Yeah,
Google Gemini VR.
it's just not coming up. It's just
Google VR glasses.
you know when you try and Google something, and we all do it. Like I'm looking, like I've just thrown in Ray-Ban sunglasses, and of course, all I'm getting is the like shipping and blah blah blah. And it's like, no, I want to know more about it. Like, just like, if I wanted to do the shopping, I'd click on the shopping tab.
That's why I generally always just go to the video tab or just go straight into YouTube and type in what I'm after.
But I'm not gonna
Breeds better results generally.
Yes, it absolutely does. And because I've just put sunglasses, it's not picking up completely that I want the special, like the you know
the
what I mean.
VR ones.
Yeah.
If that's what they're
Because it's
known
like,
as.
are they really VR or are they just
Well,
photos?
I guess no, they're not. They've just got a camera in them, really. Whereas the Google ones are more VR.
Yeah.
Because it's virtual reality. It's broadcasting things in your vision, basically.
Yeah, and I can't even like think about what I'm actually trying to ask it.
That's all right.
Like, do you know when you have those brain? Well, now I'm really intrigued.
Yeah, no, I'd be keen to have a play with them for sure. Like, be interesting to know how much they are and
Which ones?
The Google ones. Yeah, probably like $1,000, probably more. $2,000.
Well, I'm trying to. Well, if I
there
can
may not be a
find how
price
much
tag yet.
these
because
ones
I think it's
were.
just sort of they're just showing what they've done, what they've created.
It's like if I just put in photo, that's so not going to help my searching. I'm just trying to, because like I'm trying to remember when we were down at OPSM, like what were they called? But that's like nearly 12 months ago we were down there.
Yeah,
Holy
sure.
crap.
That's all right. But yeah,
Stay tuned. We'll find more.
Yeah, but check it out. If you haven't checked it out, definitely go online and look up the Google VR glasses and watch the sort of presentation. It's a bit corny at the start, but once the lady's then on the stage and they're role-playing something, it's pretty amazing what it does. And
Yeah.
I imagine that's because I wonder if then you can, because if it does like virtual map on you, like in your, like, you know.
Yeah, because that's what it did. It came
In
up
your
with
vision,
the direction
like,
or the 3D
what else will
map.
it do? Like, it's like, oh, Google, like, show me the new video from Killswitch Engage, and like, you know, it finds it and plays it. Like, and you're walking around with this music video playing in your vision.
Well, so that's where then I was trying to understand is that because obviously they like many years ago, but when we went from like the corded,
Yeah, where was the audio?
the audio,
Yeah.
like what headphones?
Yeah.
Can't even fucking talk. So we had those, and then remember you sort of had this band thing around your ears, and then do you remember the sunnies with then the headphones? So it was like you had the sunnies, and then you had like an earbud would run off it.
Oh, no, didn't see that.
Well, that's what it sort of reminded me of.
Yeah.
But then it's like as if they've taken that technology and
Yeah.
gone to another level.
It's like in the arm.
And I wonder if it's in the arm, just above. So then it's like, well, one, other people are going to know that you're
yeah.
listening to something. Or like what I thought was weird.
Or it's some sort of directional based audio that, yeah, it's really only
Yeah.
can be heard this way.
Because otherwise, like,
Right on your
yeah,
temple
like
sort of
right
thing.
above. Because
Yeah.
it's that whole thing. Like people wear noise cancelling headphones because I don't want you to know that I'm listening to Madonna or something. Like something that you go, I don't want people
Is that
to
why
know.
people wear them so they can secretly listen to Madonna?
Or Slipknot or someone.
Yeah,
You know.
Nikki Webster.
Yeah, well, maybe. I was trying to think of someone that's like so left field.
Yeah.
Nikki Webster.
The guilty pleasure.
But like obviously people wear noise cancelling because they don't want the noise around them and they just want to be able
The
to
quality of sound.
yeah, all
Yeah.
that. But still, like it's just interesting to know what is the intention of the glasses. Is it an all-day wearing thing? Is it not meant to be an all-day wearing thing? And then how is it going to go with prescriptions? You got people like me who already wear glasses. So will the technology still apply if you change the lens? Because there's a whole market out there of people.
Yeah,
a
yeah.
lot of people wear glasses. Like it's not.
True. So surely they would have had to cater for that.
Think of that.
Demographic. Like otherwise it's...
Because how would I go?
Yeah.
Like I can't see. I'm blind.
Yeah.
Both.
Just put them on there. Hey,
Short
Google,
and-
fix my eyesight. Yeah.
Yeah, it'd be amazing.
This filter just goes over the lens. Yeah.
But it's very interesting to see where they're going to take the technology.
It's very cool.
But I do like the idea of you. I could see you going, yeah, hey, what was it? Was it Google? No, it was
Gemini. Yeah.
Play the latest,
Yeah.
like someone. And you're just there like, yep. And everyone's like, what the hell is this
What's
guy
he doing?
But that's exactly my point. Like
Yeah.
people, like even when you have the little buds and people can't see and they're walking down the town and they're like, yep, I'll get that for you. You're like,
Yeah.
what the fuck?
Yeah, that's right. Is he talking to himself? He's crazy? Yeah. No.
No, he's on the phone.
Yeah.
And it's like, but is he?
Yeah, it won't be as obvious.
Well, yeah, it's just funny how.
Yeah. It just makes me think of Cyberpunk the whole time when I was watching that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. But that's really funny because, like, the country in me, like, country kid in me is just like, oh my God, what is going on? Where's the world going?
Technology. It's crazy.
On the way back from Canberra yesterday, Donna drove and Libby was with us, and we were maybe 15 kilometres from Black Springs. And you sort of know where that is. Like there's just trees and there's farmland on your left side and there's just nothing. There's nothing around you.
Bad reception.
Bad reception when you're with Optus, but I'm not going back to Telstra. And we were just talking about how back in the day, like way back, right? Like no cars back day.
Oh, okay.
Like you had farmers and everyone out there remote and all they had was a horse. But then we were talking about, well, you know, they didn't need supermarkets back then because they were self-sufficient.
Yeah.
And there's nothing around you. It's like there's a reason why there's some people who love to live like that and then other people who love the convenience of obviously being in town. But it just made me think about how quick things can change when a new thing is introduced. So when the car was introduced, how quick things move along, like the Industrial Revolution.
There'll be the area that is pro AI and there'll be the area that's against
Not.
technology.
But
It's unlikely to happen.
But it's almost like, have they touched on this being a revolution yet? Like the digital,
It's a
ongoing
good
thing.
marketing word, isn't it?
Revolution?
It's revolutionary technology or
I'm
whatever.
now going to Google.
Yeah, don't Google. We're having conversation.
But I'm intrigued to know. Because it's like, has that already been named? The digital revolution.
Yeah.
And then maybe we live under a bridge and don't know these things. So anyway,
Potentially.
well, you can talk about you.
I don't know what you're exactly trying to
The
Google.
information age is a historical period that began in the mid-20th century. It's characterized by a rapid
But we're in the
shift.
21st century
Correct, but the information age. So that would have been the internet.
where we want information. Yeah.
Yeah,
So maybe,
there you go.
now the 21st century is then the power of,
digital.
digital
There you go.
technology and
How
making
that applies.
making other things do all the work for us.
Smarter, not harder.
So
Except
let's talk
AI
about.
still can't change a flat tire.
Oh no,
It sucks.
some people can't do that either.
I think I would struggle in our
So that's why there's people that have that job, I suppose, isn't there? Yeah,
fill a gap, fill
right.
a need.
That's right. So talking a little bit about some projects that we've had the pleasure of doing over the last month.
Yes.
And the one for precision martial arts stands out for me particularly because I got to take a bit of time, which I like to have time when it comes to these type of shots where, you know, we're staging an interview shot. So it's an opportunity to use the space and, you know, light it in a cinematic way. So that was really cool. I got to use the area in the dojo and, you know, it's a little bit creaky and noisy when it's on a windy day. So there is a little bit of, you know, extra sort of care that I probably should have done for some of the audio. I notice it. I'm sure no one else notices it, but if I had have been more mindful that the mic was still going to pick that up a bit more than I anticipated that it would, then I would have, you know, tried to rig up some more soundproofing in the shot. But otherwise, yeah, it was really cool being able to stage the lighting and set up, you know, a bit of a 3-point lighting system with the color lights and give it a bit of a hairline light and and then sort of accent color light in the highlight shot and just our key light and just shooting from the shadow side, and a little bit of Rembrandt sort of lighting and shadowing, and it was cool. So, and then I was actually really surprised because that was my first attempt to sort of have both cameras running, the main camera which we're shooting on now. It was a A-roll sort of shot, but then we were also producing reels and wanted to, like, I had that foresight of like, well, one main chunk of the reel is still going to be what this individual is going to be saying. So let's actually set up a vertical shot as well in the same shooting scene and see how it comes out. And sometimes I feel a little bit limited based on the lens combination I have for the Sony. So that's something I sort of want to eventually fix, but I'm still overcoming it and making it work. And, so just put the 16 to 35 on and put that on its, put it on the vertical side and pushed it in as far as I could get where it wasn't then getting in the shot, which was fine. It was easily done. And, it came out really, really nice actually. So
well done. Sometimes
I underestimate how good that other camera is. I think I was like, oh, looks really like it has, I don't know why, but I find even though obviously the sensors are a little bit different between these cameras, but the other one just seems to have a little bit extra sharpness, I find, than what this camera has, which is interesting or it could be the lens. I'm not sure, but.
And what's that one?
That's the A7S3. Yeah. With the 24 to 105 on it. So it's just a good versatile lens. Actually, no, that's the 35 to 16 on it now. Sorry. Yeah.
And I'm just like, whoa. Yeah. So that's fun.
But so that was cool. So rather than having to, scale in a horizontal shot that was shot in 4K, so it still held up fine in the end, I was able to have an actual 9x16 framed shot as well to fall back on and utilize that. And it just sort of mixed up some of the angle, even though it was a very similar angle. It was just more slightly centered.
Slightly.
So, yeah.
Cool.
It was cool.
Well done.
And then the music choice for that was actually quite of a challenge. I sort of wanted to have, because when she sort of spoke more from her own words about what happened and how she felt from it, like you could see like she got quite a bit emotional about it as she sort of wrapped up her words. And I was like, good on you, like, well done, like, for getting through that. And that was like perfect because, the creator of me is just going, yes, the gold, like that was perfect.
And then the human in you
pulling at the heartstrings, and it was perfect. And like, I'm applauding her and telling her she did a good job, which she did. And where was I going with that?
I have no idea. It's raw, baby. You're talking about music choice. So you need to make sure that
I wanted something that was going to help emphasize that, obviously, because, a bit of nice, impactful music behind those kind of words can really be, powerful. So it took me a little bit to sort of but I ended up, as usual, sometimes going back to that first track that sort of stood out to me and was like, I've spent almost half an hour trying to find something. I'm still feeling like maybe that other one was good. Let's go back to that and we'll give it a go. And it turned out that was the track I used and sort of mixed it up again, I think in one of the other reels, so it wasn't the same. But it was, but it's always fun because, you have an idea of, I want it to have this sort of crescendo here and I want it to then sort of fall off at the end. But then like, I don't want it to be too busy in this part. And I try to keep the songs in their full integrity, not mess with them too much. And sometimes trying to find that gem that has all those elements for the right pacing and timing of how you've put together the video already is a challenge, but it's part of it, I suppose. Yeah. The unicorn track. Yeah. So, but I thought it came out pretty cool in the end. So,
and the client was obviously very happy.
Yeah, they were very happy.
Well done.
Yep.
Awesome work. And then you've been working with Yox again this month?
Yeah, so big things happening for them where they've finally sort of opened their new front bar setup, and we'd had the time-lapse camera there since February recording all of that, which has come out pretty cool. I'll finalise that today, actually.
Yeah, cool. Well, it was 16 weeks in total. So that's how long the Tiki was running for, which I can't wait to see it. And I'm sure, Ash is probably excited to see what it looks like as well. But, and what else has been going on down there?
Yeah, I guess Ash was wanting to put the pub into some awards. That was a very small, tight window to submit it all, and it needed to be complemented by photos of the space. So I jumped onto that sort of the next day after that conversation and started clicking away and getting shots of the new space and people in the space and et cetera, et cetera. So, yes, that was pretty cool, to do that.
And for those who aren't local to Bathurst, so the Oxes was a pub. It was a nightclub. Like before that it was just a normal pub, and then it turned into a nightclub, which was called the Medusa. And then from that, he's done these massive renovations. So you saw it when it was
a nightclub.
The Deuce is
I liked the red couch sort of setup they had originally in there. That was cool.
On the far side.
Yeah, on the very far wall.
Yeah.
So then you had that other bar over there, and they had those. It was sort of like a VIP lounge, I suppose.
I think that's what the original intent was for that sort of thing, but then it just became another space.
Whoever got in there. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Yep.
But little bit of a fact, I don't know if I've actually told you this. I think I have, but when it was called the Medusa.
So the whole place was called the Medusa?
No, so it was still the Ox.
Yeah.
But then the nightclub.
When you went into that space.
That space was then the Medusa.
Yeah.
And a tattooist that was working for Mum and Dad at the time, he actually designed the Medusa head.
Oh, okay.
So it was like just a little bit of
There you go. That's cool.
People and I almost axed myself. So they had that downward stairs.
Yeah.
There's so many girls who almost axed themselves down those stairs.
Didn't take the ramp.
There was no ramp into the dance floor.
Oh, there was eventually.
Oh, well, when I was there.
Yeah.
Because, back in my day.
Had to introduce the ramp.
Yeah, maybe they had to, but it was just stairs. And it was when they introduced plastic cups. So when they got rid of the glass, when they had plastic cups, because people then would just
throw cups everywhere.
Yep. And I remember distinctively
standing on a plastic cup.
Because I'm wearing shoes, it got, because I used to wear very
in between
big high
the
heels.
heel.
It got stuck, so it was then just this sort of rounded edge that was just a little bit further than my shoe when I stood and And everyone's like, "Oh, you smashed!" I'm like, "No, I'm really not."
Just people leaving their bloody cups everywhere for me to stand on.
Yeah. So, and that's I remember when they brought in the plastic, everyone hated it. So there you go, and it does look completely different. I'm very excited to see. Hopefully it thrives. He's really taken a big risk, and I'm sure it'll pay off. But it has a completely different feel and vibe. So for those who are local to Bathurst, I really encourage them to go have a look and have a meal, go have for lunch. And when we went and had those meals the other day, the food is amazing. Go check it out.
Yeah.
Go support the local. Why not?
100%. Yeah. Because I think probably either later this week or maybe early next week, they'll have the fireplace fully done at the front there, and the upstairs where B-Town is, when you walk up, that veranda space was still needing to be completed.
Yeah, the front one was getting finished, wasn't it? Because they've extended that out more.
Yeah. So I think it was literally those two things and some signage, and they're completely done, I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
So,
and
crazy.
They've done that through some really crappy weather. So they've done really well.
Yeah.
And talking about local, you've had someone local reach out to you and ask for some assistance and collaboration on reels.
I have.
Josh?
Oh, yes, of course. Yeah. You didn't write that one up on our little cheat sheet over there.
It says Ox plus Josh.
Yeah. I can't read clearly.
Well, to be fair, the camera's probably cutting it off a little bit.
So, someone who I've connected with, through being out on the job and doing productions, and we would call each other friends now. And he runs a Indigenous cultural education business, but also has a woodwork business where he produces, packs of Indigenous-based items. I'm going to say, I'm probably butchering the terminology here, but he'll make boomerangs, he'll make spears, all kinds of things. And I asked him when we were on the shoot, I'm like, who's the clientele for this sort of stuff? Just trying to understand his business more. And
I was about to mention that.
He was like, okay, well, this is an actual sort of kit. Then so you get said items in it, and most of the time it's educational based institutions, so schools, as an example, that buy these kits and they'll put them in their Indigenous spaces that they have at the school and use them for their cultural learnings. Yeah, it's pretty cool. And yeah, he does some amazing stuff, and most of it's by hand and a few machines and stuff like that. But
so then does he supply these kits to only schools and institutions that are within
like geographical location, or are we talking about?
I don't want to butcher it, but within the now that I'm overthinking it, like,
no, I don't think so.
Does he then supply those kits outside of?
Yeah, it's not. I wouldn't say it's restricted to based on what mob that you're a part of.
Yeah, okay,
if that's what you mean.
Yes, that's what I was asking. Yeah,
no, it's all still, and there are some differences in the different things that they all use, from what I understand. Like I think, and I'm just remembering when I shot the Deloitte project, and there was a cool shot of a guy on a didgeridoo, and one of the guys involved in the project was like, "Oh, can we take that shot out? It's not entirely accurate based on." And I was like, "Oh, okay, well that's interesting." Like, I don't understand that, but
so was that explained any further, that it wasn't completely?
I can't remember the exact words, but more or less it wasn't true. Yeah, it wasn't true to I think maybe our specific location, maybe. I don't know. So, but then, I see Josh, for example, he does dig stuff, so I didn't really understand the comment too much. Yeah, so cool. It's just interesting.
And that's where I'm so excited that the kids are learning this at school, because I actually can't wait for them to tell me things. Yeah. And you get just a new respect and understanding of things.
Lucas seems to really like it. He always says Mongdongu and stuff to me all the time, and
And then it's almost like, because he is enjoying it so much, that you want to fan the flame. Yeah. Like you want to do something that would fan that. So maybe we should see what Josh would recommend if we wanted to do something more. Because obviously at school they're only going to do so much, which is totally
so much time as well. Correct. But yeah, so it was really cool. We got to shoot some reels. Basically, just drove out to a location that he discovered to do some ochre, and we're like, oh look, let's just use this same space. It's cool. It had some really great pines that we could sort of use as a backdrop, and sort of mix and match the sort of shot styles and of the backdrops. And the initial goal was to showcase the black fit attire that he was wearing, as he's an ambassador for them now, and we just got stuck into it, and then moved on to whatever else we needed to do. And yeah, it was fun. It was a good day. And
some more reels are on the horizon for that.
Yes,
for him as well. So that's exciting.
Sure. Yeah.
Have you booked in another day?
No, I say that's a to-do job.
To-do job
this week.
Of course. Well, one of my to-do jobs is for us to go back to our 90-day plan and well, for you, I think it's like redo. For me, it's just moving things along to where I have dropped things off. And yeah, it's easy to then be disappointed that, we didn't do those things, and, it was important to do them and we chose to put them in our calendars, or we chose to try and work on that. And something that a good friend of mine pointed out was, you're either doing or you're not doing. There is no trying, because that sort of, like, I'll try and catch up with coffee with you. It's like, well, no, either we do it or we don't. And that sort of cut and dry is actually a little bit nice at the moment, to be like, I'm either going to do that or I'm just not, and being okay with not.
Be a bit more real with yourself on your decisions that you're going to.
And because trying puts a lot of pressure on you.
Trying is a bogus word, really.
Wow. But no, so
actually doing it and you're trying, but otherwise you're trying to make that decision to then do that. It's like, well, just bloody do it.
Correct.
Or don't do it.
Wasn't that something that we even touched on at the conference, where it was like, just start? Because obviously we had our first podcast with Alice, and I would love if you could drop in just a still of that.
Yeah, insert here. Look for that in the transcript.
Because that's where we started this, that was the original vision I had. And, fast forward and we're doing it in a space that we envision. So there is power in doing. Been a bit busy this last month and was probably I was unrealistic in thinking that I could do all of it plus the extra, which is really the extra for me is what the 90 days was. Like the 90-day plan was these things on top of everything else. So this week I'm rejigging our 90-day plan, and
it just reminds me of when you were away and you took your mother's squash racket and saying, oh, yeah, I'll do it. I'll get time to it. And she's like, you're not going to have time to do it. No, I'll make time. And then comes squash night and I'm giving your mother her squash racket back. And I'm like, yeah, she was unrealistic with herself thinking she was going to get that done. She's like, yeah, I know. He's like, yeah, we had a laugh about it.
But I also, I thought I was going to have a little bit more time before I went away because we ended up doing a lot more work that week leading up to me leaving, which originally I wasn't meant to be doing that.
Yeah.
However, sometimes when clients ask for that time, they are a priority. Yeah. So we
got to give that time.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. So, but I came back and I wanted to do the grip for her, and she said, no, my racket's gonna break. So I don't want to waste a grip now. So I was like, oh my God.
Right.
So I'm kind of glad that I then didn't do it because she reckons it's going to break.
It's going to break.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, it's in the top where the black tape is.
Oh, yeah. She's already broken it, I thought. I thought it already has an actual break and she's just making it work.
Yeah, 100%. But she's waiting for it to really
give way.
Yeah. Because at the moment it's kind of holding. So that's why she's like, don't waste
split that.
Grip. Yep.
Yeah.
So, and one last thing. I submitted another article into the Brave magazine.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah. Yep. So it just talks about the Trans-Tasman and that sort of stuff. But I'm going to I'm going to look at other avenues for me to submit stuff. So if you see anything, can you share?
Well, there's a certain person that runs a certain local newspaper that I'm sure you could talk to her about having your own little section if that was a possibility.
Oh, I didn't even think of that.
Why not?
Might have to have a coffee with her.
It's always something that's been in, I'm sure it still happens in other newspapers where people have their little article space and they write whatever the hell they want sometimes.
Yeah, I might reach out and have a coffee with her and pitch that idea. The only thing is we're going to have to sponsor that space.
Yeah.
That's the only challenge with that. The other challenge I have for you, and everyone's listening.
Putting challenges on me, aren't you?
No, you already answered the article thing, so now I've got another one for you.
You already agreed.
Video awards.
Video awards.
Yep.
Yeah, something I've always wanted to explore and look at, but I never know what to submit into those sort of things.
No. So if you can find and if anyone who's listening knows of one where we can go through, I want to hear, and I'm happy to look after all the submission side of it.
Yeah.
But I actually am struggling to find the actual, like the awards itself or the...
Oh, look, there's the Webby Awards, which I think I attempted once a long time ago.
That's more targeted at big productions. It's not going to be more us.
Yeah.
But I just mean, like, we were talking about this the other week, where there are so many avenues for business awards. So many avenues. There's so many, right?
Yeah.
Like local, you've got then ones outside of that.
District and national and
all
international
that.
And other groups.
And then just network ones.
Yeah.
So, and there's no devalue in having all of those options. I think it's great.
Yeah.
However, I'm just struggling to find something for the video side of our business. So if anyone who's listening or watching knows of something, please reach out to us. I would love to know more. And I think after doing the conference, we might be a little bit more inspired to do some workshop stuff again. So stay tuned.
Yes. Yeah, for sure. I want to get keen to get back out there and present in front of all kinds of different audiences that are interested to hear.
Including local.
Like
including the schools, including the TAFEs, the university, like whatever. We're keen to put back into the community, I think, at this point.
Yeah, totally.
Awesome.
Cool. Well, I finished my coffee as usual.
I still have some to go, as usual.
But thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. If you Haven't yet, please subscribe to our YouTube channel as well, which you may or may not be on right now watching, but following us on Facebook and Instagram would also be very awesome if you could do that.
And we're also been posting regularly on LinkedIn at the moment.
And there's that thing called TikTok too. I think we're going to be putting some fun things on there very soon too.
Yes, we're going to... we're going to have different content going out on different platforms, which is really exciting, and that's a huge thanks to our crew. There's no way that the two of us could do all that, plus everything else we do. So a bit of a shout out to our crew. Maybe I'll test
Everyone's
you guys to see if they've been listening.
At the moment, so it's cool to see.
Oh, so much fun vibes up here at the moment. It's great. Alrighty.
Cool.
Thanks.
See you next time.
Bye.